still goes on and then goes traveling throughout the country, meeting the people, greeting them, hugging them, asking them how they're doing, asking them if they're getting everything that they've got coming, trying to get a feel of the people one to one. And the people just love him, and they give him all kinds of gifts. And so sometimes he's wearing flowers and all these flowery shirts and all that. These are made by the artisans, the indigenous people, and they hand make these, and they're very special. And so, somebody might make fun of a man, wearing flowers and all that on his head and everything, on his shirts. But it's it's a show of his appreciation for what the people are willing to do, what the gifts that they give him, and to accept them wholeheartedly and actually wear them. And of course, nothing makes them happier than that. But in any case, so it's Friday afternoon, and I'm sure he's going to be going also on Saturday and Sunday. But for now, we're going to go ahead and see. He's meeting. I didn't start at the beginning because everybody talks about their duties and all that. And if you want to watch it, you can go to YouTube, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, his channel, and you can look at all the different videos he has throughout the day of the places he goes. Pretty much, they've got somebody recording everything, so you can always go back and look at it. But I'm just going to highlight and translate the part where the president speaks, because they can be kind of long, with all the people and the recognitions and all that. And I know that they're wonderful, and I'd like to show you all. But sometimes, in the interest of time, it's better to just let what do you call it? To get the to just get the main one, which is the president. Okay. So in a moment, I'm going to put the screen on the right. Let me just get that real quick, because I apparently removed the display. Okay, so now I'm going to have it, and I'm going to put it, okay, so now that one needs to be below all the other ones so that it doesn't block everything. And there we go, right about there. Okay. All right, so it looks like it's all good, except for the fact that it's way too big. Just hold on just a moment. I'm fixing it all up for you guys, so you guys won't have to deal with all the little mishaps that I may run into. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to transition to the other part of the video, and I'm going to go ahead and start his. Okay, here goes.
Damas y caballeros, escuchemos el mensaje que nos dirige el presidente de los Estados Unidos mexicanos, el licenciado Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
So she just introduced the president. So he's saying friends from towns, municipalities, little towns of this region in this state of Chiapas. I am very happy to be here again, and the syndicate Milchi many times, because sometimes it took years of fighting to gain this transformation, this true change. And now I'm returning to reaffirm my commitments and to let you know that we are going to be at the level, or your level, where we will not owe you anything. We'll put everything on the up and up, right up to this point, and we will fulfill all our commitments. And this should be very clear, so that you will not be confused. We are not the same. to, to those that are no longer here in this government. They can call me peje, but not a lizard. Peje, I'm still trying to figure out what peje is, but I need to look that up. But anyway, he's called peje. And don't think I'm dumb. He goes, I am aware of everything. Now, I have my teeth have gone fully grown, and we've been. Hey, baby. Sorry, mijo. I'm recording, baby. I'll call you back, okay? Okay, I'll see you when you get here, baby. Sweetie, can you just send me a text? Send me a text, please. Bye. Okay. There's resistance, and it will continue to squeak. But we're going forward. The fourth transformation of public life of Mexico. And what does this change consist of, this true change? That there no longer be corruption. That we need to end or that we will end corruption. That there not be corruption. That there not be impunity. And corruption will end. And impunity will end. So it's like if I'm lying, I'm dying. It's me canso ganso. It kind of means the same thing. But it rhymes, something to do with a goose. So now we've started at the top, because that's where, at the top, is where you need to give the example. Corruption is not given on the top. It's not given from the bottom to the top, it's from the top to the bottom. That's why we started to clean from the top to the bottom. How do you clean the steps? From the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom? Then, so this is how we initiated the cleansing, and that's how we're going to end with corruption. And I can give you some examples so you can understand that it is no longer the same. This so that we can be respecting each other, so that you will not be confused. We said the gas thievery will end, and it is almost completely ended. Do you know how much they used to steal? 800 pipes a day. Now we've reduced that to 40 pipes daily. 95%. Do you know how much that thievery meant? 400 pipes daily. Last year, 75 million pesos. And if we continue the same, how much will we save? 50 million. That's why we have to end with corruption. But not just from morals, but it's so much that was going to so few hands. What was wasted. And if there's no corruption, there's a budget. And the needs of the people can be met. And I can tell you another thing, where it has to do with relation to combating corruption. The people on top, the very the wealthiest would not pay taxes. The big companies, the banks. Imagine a bank, a big one, or a company that's big, that's famous. Well, that one that you are imagining, that or that bank, they paid no taxes. The ones who paid taxes are the workers, the the uh, the nurses, the doctors, the commercial people, the small companies. But there was an elite that had fiscal uh, privileges, and the taxes were condoned to them. And in the last 6 years, 400,000 million pesos in forgiveness, and that has ended because I emitted a decree to end corruption to the ones on the top. It's ended. Those privileges are over. And many other things. In the case of the health sector, we know about that, and that's why we're here. We need medications. And in the health centers, in the hospitals, but not because we didn't have a budget, because the government bought 40,000 million pesos in medications, except it was a big business for 3 companies that were providing about 70% of the medications and the materials that had to do with healing. So that is not permitted anymore, because that is inclusively against the Constitution. Article 28 establishes that there should not be any monopolies. And 3 companies were the ones that were selling all the medications from the health sector. So that has ended. And so this way, many other things. I came here to Bochil the way I came every time, through the road. I didn't come in the presidential airplane. There isn't one anymore. There's no helicopter anymore. Now, the presidential airplane is for sale in California. I wasn't going to get into an airplane that was so luxurious while the people in Mexico had so much poverty, while I would be climbing on this airplane. They were selling themselves. They are selling all these helicopters and airplanes. Do you know how many people were protecting the president? 8,000 people were assigned to protect him. That does not exist anymore, this major presidential state. Those were all sent to the Secretary of Defense, and the people protect the president. And he that fights for justice has nothing to fear. There is no private medical attention for the high-functioning officials. You know, we used to spend 6,000 million pesos on them. They were like the golden bureaucracy, the ones on top. They even did plastic surgery to stretch their faces using the money of the people, and that has ended. There used to be like a special box that had 5,000 million pesos a year. There's no more salaries that are 700,000 a month. They were getting wealthy, and that is why there's so many that are unhappy and they're questioning me and critiquing like never before. The ones that were accustomed to obey and shut up, and now they're screaming like those voice boxes. So the corruption ends and the luxuries end in the government. You cannot have a rich government with poor people. For this reason, I'm going to tell you, we're going to comply. And we've already started. We are complying with what we said. Let's see if it's not. I said that I would increase the pension for the older adults. Is it happening? Yes or no? Now it's not 1,160. Now it's 2,550 pesos. Bimenstrual, double, and that's for everybody. And now they didn't used to give it to people that had pensions from other areas. Now it's going to everybody, and we give it to all older adults. And the same, we said that for the poor, especially boys and girls that were disabled, it would be given a pension the same as the elder adults. And we are complying with that. As I was coming today, as I was entering Bochin, I found a person that was disabled, and he wanted to talk to me, and I got off. And I asked, "Are you getting your pension?" He said, "Yes. But I want some more." He says, "That's another thing. With you, your pension for disabled is already coming." Is he coming to him? Yes, that's right. So he pointed at a disabled person and asked. So now the grants are coming. No. Not just for basic education. As I was asking someone to Don Antonio, and he gave me his report. And here, in a strange way, like in everywhere, where we're giving the basic education, here, they still haven't given them here. I just found out. Now I know. And I said that I'm not sucking my thumb. What I do know is arriving is the support for the grants of students that are middle superior level education. Here in Bochin, we have delivered 1,969 grants for the middle superior education. It's 56%. I am talking about the ones that are studying in technical bachelor's education. What do they say? So you need to look that up. Make sure. I'll leave it as homework. So get informed. And additionally, we are supporting young people in the program of young people creating the future. Yes, there's still a few that haven't come, but yes, they will be coming. When there is a transformation, there may be a delay, but it will come. Or it will arrive. And this way, the programs for the fields, what it has to do with the labor, it will continue to be given. But I do want to clarify, and this is pertinent, there is nothing that's going to be given via intermediaries or middlemen.
Se acabó.
That has ended.
Aunque
Even though,
hagan
even if they
protesta.
protest.
Ahora hay una protesta.
There's a protest over here in the front of the National Palace, because they were accustomed, badly accustomed, from these organizations that the government would give them the money, and then they would supposedly would give it out to the people. But that has ended. If they ask me if they're from an organization of independent of something or other, or Francisco Villa, and give me the money, and I'll give it to him, to the people. He says, no, my little cousin. That's not how it's gonna be. Because that way it'll never arrive. It would come with a little, they would take a slice of it. And I want them to get all of it for the people directly. And that is why there's some inconformity. But before, we did a census, and we found that the money was staying on top. It was not coming down. Now, it's not going to be like that. Everyone's going to have a card. And if you don't have a bank, there's going to be one. Because they left us one little bank that's called Bansefen, and now it's going to be the Bank of Health. It's going to be a big bank, and it's going to have branches in every town for even the communities that are the furthest away. Wow, the people really like that. Everything direct, personalized. Oh, we're not going to be giving it to them in cash, in an envelope, because no, you didn't get all of it that way. Now, you get this card, and the beneficiary can go get his money, what belongs to him. Do you know how many are now receiving money this way? 18 million of Mexicans are already getting it. And we're going to continue to advance. And I'm hopeful that the majority of the homes will have at least one support, like at a national level. If there's 32 million of families and homes, that at least in general there should be 18 million, and half of all the homes should have at least some kind of support. And in the poor areas, out of 10 families, that all 10 get it. And now I can say that out of 10 in the zone, 8 is already arriving. But I want it to be 100%, because we're going to attend to everybody. We're going to listen to everybody. We're going to respect everybody. But we are going to give the preference to the poor people, because you should always take care of the poor first. And that should be very clear. And I come to Bochin in order to tell you that we're going to better the system of education and the system of health. These two needs, fundamental, education and health. In the case of education, I will tell you now, in the teachers, that I've already complied. I said that we would cancel that poorly called educational reform, and it has been canceled. And now we're going to better it, this system of education. with the participation of teachers and parents of the family, of authorities, and the quality of education, and also just like they get the money for beneficiaries from programs of development, in that way we are also going to send the funds to the schools so that the society of parents of the of students and the teachers will have the budget that belongs to each school so they can maintain it themselves. It won't go this money through a bunch that it would go through other hands and all these institutions and then and the state governments, municipal governments, because now the schools are falling apart and the money never gets there. So now we are going to give it directly so that the parents of the family can have the budget so they can maintain each school. And if they need to open, make something bigger, then with the budget that they have, they can go do that work. So, you know what the technicians, the bureaucracy, and the corrupt, that they cannot be done that way because the people is incapable of supporting themselves, like it's a science doing this. But isn't there in the communities these master woodworkers and engineers? That is why we are going to give the funds. Do you know what we're doing in Oaxaca? We are giving to the authorities of the uses and customs the budget for each of the roads. And in Oaxaca, they have the guarantee that they have conserved their customs, their traditions, their cultures. And in Oaxaca, there's tequio. And in Oaxaca, it's a assembly of community authority. And in Oaxaca, even the municipal president doesn't even charge. Everything is service. It starts as a young person giving service to the community, like policemen. They go up. It's a system that's exemplary, that of these Oaxaca towns. There's 570 municipalities. 151 are using that constitutional regimen. 417 in uses and customs. But this is a guarantee to have these governments because the people participate and there's honesty and they are incapable in authority to steal money that is designated for the works. That takes away from me any worries from would be from on top of me, a heavy weight, because I am sure that when I give the money, that the check to the authorities that are traditional, they will make sure they're making the roads as we speak. They've already made 100 roads, and these are works that are work of art. The ones that work in males and females, and the women are picking up the rocks of determined size, since they have their tastes, and then the man is making the roads out of concrete, just like this one here, like this space right here. It's made of concrete. not with machinery, not with a contractor. The same people, they use a mixture, and they have, and it's work giving to the same people, and it stimulates the economy, and the works are done, and these are well-made roads, very well. That's what I would love, to take it through the whole country, but it cannot. It cannot be done everywhere, because unfortunately they are used to the cancer of corruption that was installed. And there still is authorities that think they're trying to figure out how to steal. They're not thinking of how to serve. They're trying to figure out how they're going to take the funds and get rich from it. How do you call, you know, as doctors, you can tell me. Oh, look what kleptomania is. That's what they do. It's the benefit of stealing. So sometimes I think we need to make clinics to treat those sick people, corrupt people. So following that example, as of today, the supports for the maintenance of the schools are going to come directly. In the case of health, look, I came thinking, but by instinct, that it was worse, the system of health, than the education system. And in fact, it is worse, the system of health, than the system of education. And I have been able to prove it, because in the case of the health system, and you don't have to give classes to a teacher, there's a lot of absenteeism. It's bad. It's very bad. There should be absenteeism, not school from Thursday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Thursday. If it is democratic, it has to be honest. Nothing that I say, I'm from the a movement that's democratic, but I'm not going to give classes. You are not democratic. You're an irresponsible person. But then, but if we accept without conceding that there's no teacher, or that a teacher not came in, then another one should come. Or there's no teacher comes, so the teacher will go home with his grandparents. Nothing bad happens, except that he's wasting his time. But if he comes here, to this hospital, and someone who's had a heart attack or a stroke, and you don't have the equipment, and you don't have the medication, so you won't be able to make it to Tuxtlan, and he'll die on the road. So then, for that reason, I say that is worse, the system of health, than the education system. And it means saving lives. And that is why this that I'm doing for the school hospitals, that's why I'm traveling. In the case of Chiapas, there's 10 hospitals that are in this system, in this program. Deep Bienestar. I've already gone to 8. They still have to go to Bochin, oh my goodness. Some of these names I can't say them. I've never even heard of these places. Good Lord. How come history didn't teach us and geography didn't teach us none of this stuff? Anyway, I'm going to go to these. That's why I'm making these visits. And also to tell you that the health system in general, even though it appears incredible, that it has been inaudited, it still is the best service that there is in IMSS Bienestar. You can imagine how the rest is. And we're going to better the program of well-being. Don't think it's going to disappear. No, it's going to be strengthened. We're going to better it. I know very well this program. That's why I'm doing this run, because this program was initiated 40 years ago. And since that time, in 1979, I was director of the institute in Tabasco, and I was the delegate from Tocolamal. And that's when they initiated this program. 40 years ago, the medical units and the hospitals. And then things have been changing names. After IMSS Coplamar, they called it Solidarity, Opportunities, Prosperity, Progressive, and then Prosperity again, and then Bienestar. But the important thing is that it's going to get better, this service. And I'm coming to, been accompanied by the director and accompanied by the director of the Social Security, a Robledo, a paisan of yours, or countryman, or local guy. Juan Ferrer is the director of the Institute of Health for Well-Being, and he's here with us. And he's also paisan. He's from the southeast. Yeah, kind of touches the southeast. It's a little bit to the north, but everything is to be to the north. So the south and southeast, nothing. What did they give it to from Chiapas? What did they invest in the Federation? Nothing. Now it's going to happen. Now it's going to be different. Now it was the time for the South and Southeast, because there was many years that there wasn't a president that was from the Southeast. And now there is one from Chiapas, from Veracruz, from Tabasco, from the Southeast. And we're going to better it, this whole system of health, from two manners. We're going to better the system of attention to those that have Social Security. You know how the ordinary system, the regimen, normal regimen is, that is for the goods, like the ISTE and the Social Security. So we also have someone here from the national level. So that is the system that is for those that have Social Security. And the open population are going to attend them with Bienestar and with the Institute of Health for Well-Being. And what will this system have to do with the population? It'll be to better four aspects. First, that there not be a scarcity of medications, that there be enough, sufficient, because even in the normal there is discrimination. Like one medical unit would have 120 or 130 medicines, and here in the hospital 260, and the ordinary regimen would be 700. So there's different levels of sickness. So the basic square is going to get done away with. medicine for everyone. And that it not be scarce or missing. So how is it that they get the Coca-Cola and the French fries, or what do you call it, those chips? He goes, everything is arriving. I'm not going to make it publicity for them, but if we can distribute that, why can't we distribute medications? And if necessary, we will create a distribution company so that we will make sure that we have the medications in all the hospitals. It's a job, a duty. And here is the responsible one. Yeah, he says stand up so they can see who you are. Doctora Lippi, or he is the one who's going to handle it. And the second thing, that we not have a shortage of doctors and nurses. Do you know what these corrupt officials did? They closed the doors to the ones that wanted to study medicine. They kept turning them away with a pretext that they didn't pass an exam, and that was a lie. It's not that they didn't pass the exam. It's because they didn't have enough room. They only had a few universities. Because they weren't spending the budget for the universities. So, if they presented an exam to enter in the UNAM for 10,000, oh, maybe they let in 600. 9,400 turned away. And it's not that they did not pass the exam. It's that they made the exam 125 questions, and they decided that they were going to take and admit only the ones that answered all 125 questions, maybe 123. But he answered 122, he was out, and he wouldn't get to go in. So therefore, so what went happening with this politic, absurd, that they were denying the youth, and now we have less doctors and specialists that the country needs. That is what's happened. This is totally negative from the neoliberal political program, and we have to resolve this. We have to generate and have doctors, specialists, nurses. So the specialists, like since there's a few, well, they don't want to come to Bochin. If you need, well, let's say not a cardiologist, because you don't have the plaza here, but let's say like an internist. So then, if they told him you're gonna go to there or Benemerito, he wouldn't want to. He wanted to stay in Tuxtla, and at least Cristobal, he said. But so the internist can stay there and work, but in Cristobal. But the ones that come to Bochin will get a higher income than the ones that stay in town. So incentives, giving them incentives. Stand up. He's the one who's going to be making sure there's no shortage of doctors. Another job for you. This young one that has convictions and principles, and he's going to help us in this. The third thing is the infrastructure. This that we're seeing here, that there's no space. It has more than 100% occupation. Then we need to amplify it, the structures for health.
de lo tercero.
And the third thing,
Y es un área
and it's an
para
area
mejorar
that we can
las
better
instalaciones de
the
salud,
installations of
ya sean
health,
las unidades
whether
médicas
it be the medical
que se hicieron,
units
como ya dije, hace
that were
40 años.
made about
Y
40
me
years
consta
ago.
que se hicieron
And I am
con
sure
material
that they were
prefabricado.
made with prefab.
Imagínense si siguen así, ¿cómo
And
están?
if they continue like that, how do you think what condition they're in? So
De
it requires
mantenimiento, se
maintenance,
requieren
and it requires
reconstrucciones, se requieren
reconstruction
ampliaciones.
and
Y aquí está
amplification.
el ingeniero,
And here's the engineer,
Carlos
Carlos
Sánchez, que va a
Sanchez.
estar a cargo de este
He's going to be in
programa.
charge of this program.
Y
And
la cuarta
on the fourth part,
tarea tiene que ver con
it has to do
regularizar
with regular,
a enfermeras, a
regulating
médicos, a todos los trabajadores
doctors and all the
del sector
workers,
salud.
nurses,
Porque les vamos
because
a
we're going to
no exigir, a
not
pedir,
demand, but
que
ask,
son muy sensibles,
because they're very
cumplan
sensitive,
con su
that they
responsabilidad,
comply
y al
with their
mismo tiempo
responsibilities,
les va a garantizar
and at the same time
que
they'll
tengan
have
buenos
guarantees,
sueldos, que tengan
good jobs,
prestaciones,
and
y
benefits,
que tengan base,
and that they
porque
have a
hay
base,
muchos que están
because a
trabajando
lot of them that are working
por contrato,
are on a contract,
honorario,
and like
eventual,
hourly or eventual,
en
but especially in the Secretary of Health, more than 80,000 workers that are working as eventual, not full-time. That means like part-time. And you can do it from night to day. Oh man, I guess it ended. All right. That was horrible.
Hola amigos y amigos a Chacharro Político, yo soy Luis Solano y el día de hoy voy a darte una información que te voy a platicar.
I love Juncal Solano. She's great. She's very animated. I'll let you watch her a couple minutes.
Y es que la esposa del abogado de Enrique Peña Nieto, Juan Collado, dice que no tienen dinero. No.
So the wife of Juan Collado says they don't have any money. The guy that was in jail, right? He was jailed. He was, they were caught with money laundering for the previous presidents. And they've got really good attorneys, so right now they're putting a lot of stays and stuff. But anyway, I can't watch this. I'll put this on later maybe, but it's a really good one if you guys want to watch it. It's Juncal Solano, and she has el mariachi, something about the mariachi. Anyway, it's a really good show. It's enjoyable. If you get the opportunity to watch it, go for it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to transition to this one. So I just thought I'd share with you guys. She's a lot of fun. Charro Político. That's what it's called. And it means the political charro. But it's funny because I was expecting a guy, and it's this girl. She's very vivacious and animated. Look, I'm going to put her back on just so you can see how cool she is. She's a lot of fun. Look, put her on.
Tienen que caerse para sacar a su marido de la cárcel.
She says she doesn't even have money to get him out of jail, and she doesn't know how she's going to do it. It's going to be necessary. She thinks she's going to work as a lowest job so that her husband can come out of jail. And she said she's trying to talk to Peña Nieto, and they've abandoned him, and they're not answering. And they don't want to see him in this life. And I'm also going to tell you that she said that she doesn't have money, and she's that she's sure that her husband is very ill and that he could die at any moment. But she gets confused when they ask her some questions. They're trying to send him to the hospital so that he can escape. See? Isn't she cool? So this is a charro político. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. That one's a lot of fun. I've translated one of her videos before. She's quite entertaining, but she talks really fast. Very smart girl. She does her digging, and she always has some good, like newsworthy stuff, where she's showing where she got it from in the news. And she's entertaining as all get out. She cracks me up. I love watching her. Anyway, I'm going to watch her, so I'm turning this off so I can watch it. See you guys later. You guys can watch it. She just came on right now. I guess it's a new one. Bye.